Everybody, welcome back to Jamia's Promo. Today is April 4th, so happy Easter to each and every one of you. Now, I do want to make a quick video on the price analysis, the technical analysis of helium, and exactly where we could go in the near-term future, but also where the retracement and healthy correction is as well. So I do believe we will be coming back down and then following this aggressive trend line up, and it would be maybe possibly around, April 14th through April 16th, where we could be hitting this mark here of right around $24.85, almost $25. Now, helium has been growing at a pretty substantial rate lately, so it's been always going over my trend lines just a little bit, which is also really nice to see that this is all being moved by the growth of the company itself. There really is no hype that is being built around it. It's not even alt season yet, and this thing is just growing and growing. Now, I am mining helium, so if you guys are curious and interested in mining helium itself, I will be placing links below the video inside the description so you can take a look at Nebra, Rack, as well as Bobcat. Now, I do also want to show you in today's video, I'm going to go straight to the point, get it all done real quick, but we are going to take a look at the Explorer.Helium.com. There is over 25,000 hotspots that are connected to the blockchain, either online and offline, but I do want to show you guys some of the top cities, so this way you can see exactly where you are located, in the top 100. So let's just take a look really quick at what could happen in the near future. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just for entertainment purposes only. And I also do highly suggest that if you're not charting out your own lines, you do need to head over to tradingview.com and just create your own lines, find your patterns, and figure out where it could go and where it could come back down to. Because if you're purchasing any type of stock or cryptocurrency without doing any type of charting, you're buying in blindly, and you could be buying in at these peaks when you should be buying in at the valleys. So I do have two lines that is going on here, these two white lines. This first one here was a pretty aggressive trend line. I had a different one that was a little bit lower, but we were kept on going above and beyond. So this one now actually seems to be more like the conservative trend line here, where it'll take a little bit longer to get up into this main price target up here that we have created with this more aggressive line. So I'm going with this aggressive line, trying to see if this is something that we're able to stay with, and I believe we could for a while, but we do need to make sure that we come down for a healthy correction. So because you guys are all here to figure out exactly where it could go to, not only to the bottom, but also to the top, again, going through this real quick, between April 14th through April 16th, I believe it could come up to this 24.86 line, right close to $25. Now, where could it come down to? And I believe it'll come down to these two yellow lines before we head up to $25. So first off, when you take a look, and really kind of how I figure out some of these lines is you take a look at the latest trend. So this right here to me is one of the latest trends. All these other lines actually hit on the Fibonacci retracements. So here we go with the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low all the way up to the swing high. This is where I put in these two yellow lines right here, which is the 0.5 as well as the 0.618. Now, the reason why I usually always go with the 0.618 level, but I wanted to bring in the 0.5 just because it seems like helium is just on a huge growth spurt at the moment, and it might not fully come down to the 618 level. So I would be pretty, comfortable purchasing more shares of helium at this level here, which is $13.95, basically $14. I would be comfortable with. If you wanted to, you could always, again, not financial advice, you can always invest 50% or 75% of your funds right here. And if it does happen to go back down to this 618 level, which is right around 1278, 1275, then you can put in the rest of your funds right here, just to make sure that you don't completely fully miss out on this little drop right here, which is basically almost about a full dollar. This is the fixed 20-day moving average, and you can see here that we touched the fixed 20-day moving average, and then that's where we just basically shot right up. Now, the last time that we touched on the 20-day moving average was back here. Now, if we were to go from this point to this point, which is where we hit the 20-day moving average, went up and we came back down, it took right around 14 days, almost 15 days. Now, if we take a look at this moment here, from the point from where we left it, if I wanted to go out by 14 days, looks like we are somewhere around this date here of April 9th. So around April 9th, maybe, you know, if this fixed 20-day moving average keeps moving up, then maybe this is where we could be hitting those retracement levels right over here, and that would be something that is super healthy and nice to see. So really, anytime within this date range of today all the way through about April 9th, this is where you can maybe see it retracing back down to here. And if that's the case, then we are seeing a little bit of a pattern. There's not much history with helium to find these patterns yet, but we are trying to find them here. So again, I'm waiting for it to come back down to the fixed 20-day moving average, which I'm hoping is going to be a few days, which is going to be right around here. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. So I wouldn't really fully, you know, purchase in up here. This one does kind of look like a peak, not much really a valley. Now, when you take a look at the Keltner channels, this is where a lot of this detail kind of comes into play as well. So a lot of times you can see it's coming down to this middle Keltner channel. It boosts up, hit the top, came back up, hit the top. It's still above the Keltner channel on the 4-hour chart. So again, even right now, this is way too high. If it does want to come back down and bounce back up, it's going to come down to 1654 up again if it wants. But I do want to see it come down to at least this line right here, which is the bottom Keltner channel, because anytime it hits the bottom Keltner channel is where it really shoots up, even if you were to take a look, you know, back at history again. So again, at the 4-hour charting, we're right in between my two lines that I was talking about for the retracement. So this is what we're really looking for. If we go inside of the 6-hour chart, you always have to take a step back just to see what is going on. You can see here it's hit this top line, went up, hit the top line, went up. Even on the 6-hour chart in the short term, we are still way above it. We are still in the blue sky territory. We didn't even hit the top line of the Keltner channel here, but I also do want to see it again hit this middle line or even the bottom line. And when you take a look at the middle line and bottom line, it almost matches up perfectly again with the two retracements that we have already drawn. So I'm looking at all this technical things. It doesn't mean it's gonna happen, but this is technically where they should come down to, which is the middle line of the Keltner channel, bottom line of the Keltner channel, move right back up. And again, that could happen in just a few days. So if you're looking at trying to get into helium, right now might not be the best time. Wait for it to come down again. This is something that I've charted from the past, and it has been pretty accurate. Now, once it does come down to these areas, these points of points of interest for retracements, then this is where we're going to see this healthy movement all the way up to $25 right around that April 15th timeframe. So now let's move over to the Helium Explorer tab. So this is Explorer.Helium.com. This is where we're going to take a look at all of the hotspots. You can take a look at this map right there if you want to look at all the other hotspots around you. Here is how many hotspots have been connected. So where I got in on mining of the heliums was right around this date right here. So I purchased one of mine on January 10th, and then I've had a bunch of them going on in late January, early February. So I was right around this 18,000 hotspot range, and now we're all the way past 25,000. So the one thing I do want to show you is pretty fun. First off, before we go inside of the top cities right here, when you scroll down, some people were asking questions about Nebra. Is it, how is the quality? Someone messaged me stating that they heard Nebra was not a good quality, connections being built. And really, there is absolutely no information that they'd be able to get. That was just purely rumor. There's not even enough sample size to even say if it's a good or bad product. I know it is a good product. I purchased 2 of these personally myself. And so with 5 of them being added onto the blockchain right now, these are all the test units. So if somebody wanted to start a rumor that it wasn't really even that great, even the same thing with Syncrobit. Now Syncrobit, there's only 3 of them that's added. Again, these are the test units. Nebra, these are the 5 test units. Bobcat is really the only other one that's being pushed out other than the Helium hotspots and Rack. So Bobcat now has 510 hotspots that has been added. Those have been shipped out, I believe, out inside of into China, I believe. Nebra is created out in the UK. Syncrobit is the newest one that's been added to this list here, and I don't believe that they've passed the FCC just yet, but they did pass all of the, they passed everything, all the certifications for Helium themselves. Here's the old Helium hotspot miner. There's 17,000 of those that are connected. And then we take a look at the other Helium hotspots, which is one of them that I have. There's 554. Now CalChip, which is the Rack, the Rack Miner version 2 made by CalChip. This is pretty much one of the main hotspots that are out there at the moment. You can see it's quite a bit higher than Bobcat, way higher than Nebra and Syncrobit. Really, it was only Helium and CalChip that has been creating these hotspots. Helium gave all of the rights to CalChip to make all of the hotspots. So they partnered at the very beginning. Helium mentioned that they do not want to make any more. So here's their old, here is their newer one that they had. They gave all the rights, even though it's open source, it's open licensed. They gave all the rights and everything they needed to CalChip, which is why I always pushed out Rack beforehand, really before Nebra and also Bobcat, just because CalChip, which is making the Rack miner, has the bigger partnership with them. So this is a really good number to take a look at. So if you're purchasing Bobcats, you're purchasing Nebras, and you want to see how much helium they've burned, and everything else that's going on, how many has been added in. Again, really the helium numbers should not really move or get bigger. It's really going to be CalChip, Syncrobit, Nebra, and Bobcat. Now here are the top cities that's going on right now. So the top city right now is Chicago with 731. Then you got Brooklyn, New York, 591. Here's New York, 553. California. You also have Denver, Los Angeles, Minneapolis, London, Philadelphia, Austin. So really, when you take a look at some of these cities, one of the things that I did notice that also Frank Mong has also said, the COO of Helium, is that most of the cities that these are located in as the biggest is NFL cities. So wherever you think of an NFL team, that's really where you're going to see a bunch of these things that are connected. So you got, Pittsburgh Steelers, Seattle Seahawks, Miami Dolphins, San Diego Chargers. I mean, you have all these going on here. So really, some of the ones that I'm also taking a look at, I'm from the Midwest, so I'm taking a look at St. Louis. I see St. Louis is ranked 49th with 50 of them connected. And Kansas City themselves are actually quite behind. I believe that they should be ranked. Yeah, they're ranked 81. So here's Kansas City, and I'm going to try to help them get up quite a bit higher. I have quite a few hotspots coming in, so this way I'd be able to add to the city. Again, here is the top cities. Really cool to take a look at. Watch your city grow as it grows as well. Here is the map you'd be able to take a look at. The red dots are the ones that are offline. You can actually hide all of those. And then this is where you can just go in and just take a look at this beautiful map right here. There is just so much green. This thing is just growing like crazy, and I'm super excited. And it's not only just the United States. You have it in Europe, UK, so many different areas. And again, too, if you are interested in mining helium itself, I will be placing the links below the video inside the description for Rack, Bobcat, and Nebra. And then also, too, I'll be placing a link for TradingView if you guys wanted to sign up for TradingView. And as well, I'll have another link that would be for Binance.us. A lot of people ask questions on what they would do after they've mined all of these heliums. So when you're taking a look at some of these hotspots here, again, you can tap on really any of these dots. You can view the hotspot details. And when you take a look at how much these have mined, you might be wondering and asking yourself, where and how am I able to transfer all these, sell these mines or the heliums, keep them, do whatever. So I'm here in the United States. I use Binance.us, and really all you do is you transfer all the heliums that you have obtained, you have mined. You can transfer it to your Binance.us account. You can also sell them, so this way you can put it back in your savings account or checking account. Or what you'd be able to do is sell it, and then you can buy Bitcoin. So really you can do whatever you want to, but I would suggest Binance.us. That's what I use here in the United States. But just make sure you take a look at the states that are, available for Binance to work. You can see that this one is coming down a little bit. I feel like there's going to be quite a few more red candles bringing us down into the areas we talked about from before. But I hope you guys have liked this video. If you did, please give this thing a huge thumbs up. Don't forget to hand subscribe on the very bottom left-hand side. And if you like this video, then more than likely you'll like this video on the right side. And I'll see you guys later.